All right, now we're going to flip it to the better teams. Again, this is over the next 3 years. Why don't we start? Well, actually, why don't we start with the teams that didn't make our list? Because Rob and I were talking about this before we came on. I considered for number 5, let's see here, I think it's 9 teams that didn't make this. I think it's really tough to distinguish between teams that are good now and that are sure to be good in the future, like the Milwaukee Bucks, for instance, but are so bereft of actual resources in order to build around them that you're not sure if it will go well for that long, but they almost likely will, but you just don't want to put them on this list.
Oh, wait, you don't have the Milwaukee Bucks on your list?
You're
I do not have the
insane.
Bucks.
You are a sick man.
The Bucks are out 5 firsts, 8 seconds, and Giannis has a player option in 2026.
They have Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Justin, the reason why it matters that it's Giannis is because it's so clear what you have to do for teams to be good around him. Get minimal level of shooting, a decent amount of defense. You're going to be good. Straight up.
So Chris Middleton is a free agent this offseason, or most likely will be. He has a player option. He's 31.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday has a player option for 2024-25. He's 32. Brook Lopez, 34, due for a contract this year. This team is getting old fast too, which is another part of this. Like, I think the Bucks are going to be great as long as they have Giannis, but I think it's going to be increasingly difficult from here on out.
But just rewind the first part of that sentence. The Bucks are going to be great as long as they have Giannis.
And they're gonna have Giannis.
They're gonna have Giannis.
So they're
Like,
on my
will
list.
Honestly, like, I found this exercise, the top 5 situations, to be incredibly difficult. They all have caveats. They all have huge questions. The Bucks are the number 1 team on my list. And it's very simple. If you are the favorite to win the title in one season and you have Giannis under contract through 2025, you're on the list.
Things change so quickly, man. I don't know how you could just assume 3 years from now that it's going to be the same way.
I feel pretty confident on Giannis.
I feel pretty confident Giannis is going to be an all-time great, perhaps 20 best players ever, player level.
Oh, yeah. I think Giannis is going to be great, but like, are we certain he's going to be there? I mean, he's been loyal thus far, but like, he's had comments where he's like, yeah, we'll see down the road. And I think that's like a totally reasonable thing to say. I'm not,
but he's going to be in the
for
contract for the next 3 years.
No, well, so player option 2026, the summer of 2026, which means that if things go poorly, it happens the year before that. So like, these things fall apart very quickly. And so if it does, I see him potentially looking elsewhere. I don't think that's like unfair to say.
Yeah,
it's not unfair to say. I just look at the other situations, even among the elite teams, and it's like, who do you feel most confident about that they are going to be a contender in 2 years? For me, it's 5 Cleveland Cavaliers, 4 Philadelphia 76ers, 3 Denver Nuggets. To me, the Nuggets and the Sixers are pretty interchangeable. It's just a matter of the Nuggets are like a little younger, and they don't have both the combination Harden, age, and flight risk question. So I gave them a little bit of benefit of the doubt. 2, I have the Celtics, and 1, I have the Bucks.
You literally just listed the 5 best teams in the NBA.
I mean, you don't think the Cavs are in like the 20 best teams in the NBA? I don't know. Like, those are the best teams right now have young superstars. So like, that's what you need to contend. That's what everyone is trying to find. I'm sorry, it's a boring list, but it's a boring list for a reason, because it's right.
Yeah, these are the 5 best teams in the league.
just go to the standings and just put them up there. Waz, do you have anybody
that's
else?
Prep work, baby. That's how we do it around here. And I
just wait for my number 1.
Let's start going through. Let's start going 5 to 1, because I've already jumped my list. We've already gotten my number 1 off the top. Who do we have at number 5?
You sure you want me to start? Because this is going to be good for you guys.
I'm terrified.
I have the Orlando Magic.
What? Okay.
Justin, I mean, just stop.
I did consider them.
What are we doing here?
In fairness, I also considered them as a candidate, but they did not make the list.
Never. They don't meet the criteria.
I think they are probably the best growth stock in the NBA right now. So they have Paolo, clear-cut rookie of the year, even though like I think Jalen Williams is making a late push for it, but I think it kind of obscures Paolo just being like a 5-5 guy for an entire rookie season. I think he's a guy. He's a guy you build a team around.
He's a guy.
Franz Wagner, Awesome.
He's a guy.
Clearly a number 2. So you have like 2 potential cornerstones.
Clearly a number 2.
I think he's a fringe all-star at worst going forward.
Okay.
You have nothing.
So hold on. So he's clearly a peak Chris Middleton type. Are you saying?
I don't know what he'll be, but like I think he's the type of player I could see making like 2 all-star games down the road if the Magic are good enough.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Continue with your spiel.
Yeah, continue. Yeah, I'm just
but an ocean of cap space, which they have up to this point used primarily just to take salary dumps. But you're in Florida. It's not an awful market and no state taxes. Let me just remind you, it's why people foolishly thought that Kevin Durant would once sign there. Do you remember this? When it was like Al Horford and Kevin Durant might go to Orlando because of no state taxes and they're just like chill guys. Yeah, that was the thing for a little while. And they currently have the 5th best, I believe, lottery odds. So they're going to get somebody else here. Like Paulo, Franz Wagner, lottery pick, Wendell Carter Jr., and whoever the fuck. Markelle Fultz is good again. like Jalen Suggs has not been good, which is like my one reason for concern that like some of their other picks haven't been there, but they have a nice core here, and I can see them being very good very quickly. That's the case.
At the risk of just like spoiling this entire bit, can you just give us your 1 through 5 so I know who you didn't pick?
Let's just do that because we've been, we don't have that much time, but let's just hear your 1 through 5, please. So this is absurd.
It's a little all over the place here. So 4, I actually have the Sixers.
Yeah,
both
deserving.
Not on my list.
They have Embiid under contract, and I trust Morey to build around him even if Harden goes. Like they quietly, if Harden leaves, Harris is on expiring next year, and they could all of a sudden just be the prime players for like the next star to come and play with Embiid. So I think and then Maxey, etc. Celtics at 3, similar reason. I mean, we can get into the Jaylen Brown stuff, but clearly a lot of potential there. 2, I have the Grizzlies, who once we get past this Ja Morant stuff, I think people will recognize that like they have an incredible feeder system around Ja and all of their picks, so they're due for a superstar trade sometime soon. We'll see if we get it. Number 1, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I mean, I love the Thunder. This is a lot.
This is
a lot, Justin.
So let me make the case.
This is crazy.
The one thing I favored above all else is having a young superstar under contract.
Like Giannis.
And who is out way before Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Or the 3-time MVP?
Exactly, yeah.
What?
Nikola Jokic.
What are we doing?
Okay, so do you want me to make the counter for the Nuggets? The counter for the Nuggets is...
Hold on, let's hear the Thunder case first, and then we'll get to the rebuttals.
Oh, my God.
So Shai is a top 10 player. He's 24 years old.
Yep.
He's scoring like 40 points a night on the regular. Like clearly a guy, if not an MVP candidate, maybe this season, probably too soon, but definitely next season. And everything they've done around him has been good. Can we just talk about how remarkable it is that they nailed probably literally every draft pick to the point where like a Chet Holmgren not playing, nobody cares about it because all of their other draft picks are good. Like you want to talk about
the future is bright. Yes.
Everybody wanted to like just celebrate the Pelicans because they're so good at drafting, yada, yada, yada. Look at what they did after Zion on that draft.
He somehow manages to get a Pelicans dig in there. This is a miracle.
Listen,
this guy is good, man.
That's the comp though, right? That is the clear comp of a team that was on the rise. Oh, we're so excited about them, yada, yada, yada. And it kind of has fallen apart. We don't know about Zion. But after they drafted Chet, a guy who hasn't played, you have Jalen Williams, a guy we just said could be the rookie of the year if things break right for him. Probably not, but we'll see. The other Jalen Williams, quality rotation player.
Yeah.
Ousmane Dieng, we don't even know about. No one gives a shit because all these other guys are already good. The Dort contract is good. Kenrich Williams, a former Pelican, I might add, that came via the Steven Adams trade. Quality rotation player who just happened to get hurt. Like everything they've done is right. They have 8 first-round draft picks coming to them, plus 2 swaps from teams that are almost assured to be bad going forward. Like, I'm not bullish on the Clippers' future, especially as we record this. No. Paul George got hurt again tonight. I just think, like, this is how you build a team from nothing into something. And I don't see how it can get derailed. So 3 years from now, yes, I could see them in title contention.
They're very good, incredibly talented. As you said,
but
well-run organization.
This has to be all predicated on the last year. You're not taking the first 2 years into account, because the way I did it is, who do I think is going to have the highest win totals for the next 3 years? They're not in my list, but I respect this obviously way more than the Magic situation, because that is just absolutely berserk.
Yeah. Listen, if we just want to do power rankings of the current best teams, we could do that, but I didn't think that was all that interesting.
No, I think the Grizz absolutely have to be in there, not just because of the core being so young. They haven't used the powder's still dry. They haven't used anything of their future stuff to try to make this team better in the immediate. So they got all of these young guys, plus they haven't used any of their trade assets. They got to be up there. To me, the Nuggets are about to have the 3-time freaking MVP. Absolutely nothing about his MVP-ness is going to change over the next 3 years.
They have Joel Embiid? We'll save that. Don't touch it. Just let it sit.
Absolutely nothing will change. So the Nuggets are up there for me. The Celtics, obviously. So to me, those are my top 3 were the Nuggets, Celtics, Grizz, just because the Nuggets guys around Jokic are so much younger than the guys that are around Giannis. However, that's the top 3. Bucks, obviously, number 4. My number 5 is the Cavs.
Yeah.
The Cavs, clearly.
Yeah.
Their young talent is way better than Orlando's. And as a matter of fact, I think Donovan Mitchell is just as good as Shea. And then you talk about the guys that, what they've proven on the court already. Over the next 3 years, these guys are all going to be better. And so the Cavs, to me, are my number 5 team.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna give Rob the floor here because you haven't talked in a while. But if you want me to make the counter examples for the Cavs and the Nuggets, just let me know.
I mean, I think the Cavs, their 4 best players will all be awesome during this window.
Yep, I agree.
They all fall into the pitch you made for Shea in terms of targeting young stars. They have Mitchell at 26. They have Mobley who's 21. They have Garland who's 23. Jared Allen, who's probably going to be their 4th best player when all is said and done, 24 years old right now. They're going to be good throughout this entire time frame we're talking about. And right now, walking into this podcast, they are the number 1 team in point differential this second. They're going to be playing meaningful playoff games
have no small
immediately.
Forward. They literally have nothing at small forward.
And yet, give them a fun, tough playoff run and 1 mid-level signing, and they're going to be really formidable.
Oh,
where is that 4th player or that 5th player coming from? Is my counter example.
Figure it out.
A mid-level, you get a PJ Tucker level acquisition like Milwaukee did in the door, everything changes.
So the Cavs are out 5 first-round draft picks and 1 swap. Mitchell has a player option in 2026. I'm just saying, I agree that the Cavs have a bright future ahead of them. I love all of their young players. But, there are these mitigating factors where I'm wondering, where are these other players coming from? And to this point, the feeder system hasn't been producing much. If anything, the draft picks have been bad, and they haven't really made the sort of moves on the fringes that really amount to anything. Everyone was very excited about Ricky Rubio. That didn't work out. So where's my confidence in the front office to get everything right around them?
To me, all they have to do at that 3 position is get a 3 at the level of what Denver did to get Bruce Brown or KCP in there. They just got to do something like that.
So the player that every team wants and needs, they just have to get that guy on a very cheap contract. Okay. Sounds good.
Hey, Justin, what do the Orlando Magic need right now?
It's absurd. It's just this is crazy.
What do they need?
They need a couple players. Yeah, sure.
The Cavs have a bunch of players, right? It was just last year people were calling this kid Kevin Garnett. And now all of a sudden the Magic are way better. It's just crazy to me. They're young guys. Even Garland, who I realize is small. I think he's a special player, right? And these guys are going to be better than they're not going, there's no universe where Evan Mobley is worse right now than he's going to be in the next 3 years. Like they're going to be incredible. And they just got to get like a couple of things. The things they need to do are on the fringes.
Yeah.
Like, to me, this is a no-brainer to me with the Cavs. They're going to be amazing. And the thing about Donovan Mitchell and his free agency, until I see somebody walk away from a drastic overpay, and if all they have to do is overpay him, I just don't see why I should be worried about his status on the team. They just have to give him a Karl Towns deal. They just have to give him a freaking Bradley Beal deal, and he will be there. And so this thing is sewn up as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. I think we should clip and save that one for 2 years down the road here when we're doing this on our Patreon.